Good day, everyone.
I was born and raised in Detroit. Growing up there, I saw people like me running things.
This is a courtroom, not a circus, so we're gonna calm down.
I'm sorry.
What I found there was a passion that I didn't know existed.
This is the bottom line.
I'm excited to free fall into the limitless possibilities with we the people. So many are fearful of the law. They think it's something that works against them.
I think you need to begin to accept responsibility for your mistakes.
We are the people.
Gracie McDougal claims she was backing out of a parking spot when her car was hit by an impatient shopper.
All rise.
Emily O'Connor says the plaintiff was careless and caused the damage. The defendant is countersuing for $650.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lauren Lake presiding.
You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello, Sean.
Thank you. Good day, everyone.
Good day.
This is the case of McDougal versus O'Connor. Ms. McDougal, you are suing Ms. O'Connor for $500. You say the defendant hit your car in a parking lot and refuses to pay for the damage. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And the defendant, you say the plaintiff backed into your vehicle, so she needs to pay you repair costs in the amount of $650, which you're countersuing for. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, I'll start with you, plaintiff. What happened? You all had a little collision.
Well, I went to the grocery store. I parked in the parking lot.
In the parking lot, in just a standard kind of grocery store parking lot.
It's a neighborhood grocery store, and the parking is usually very crowded.
Did you bring a picture of what the parking looked like?
No, I have a picture of the actual accident.
Of when you had the accident.
Yes.
Please send that up, and as you're walking through the story, I can refer to that.
Okay.
And hopefully it includes where this parking space was.
Okay.
Go ahead, ma'am.
So I got into my car, my windows were fogged up, so I had to sit and defrost them for a while so it would be safe to drive. I'm a very careful driver.
What state do you live in?
In Virginia.
Okay, so it still gets cold enough there so where you have to defrost the windows.
Yes. And so I was sitting there, and the parking lot was packed, and I could hear people honking to try to get me out of my spot, but I needed to be able to drive safely. So I was defrosting the windows. It didn't take very long, and in the meantime, somebody next to me had already pulled out. The defendant zipped into the spot next to me and hit my car. And when she hit my car, she jumped out of her car, demanded my insurance information, started screaming at me.
Was your vehicle in motion? I'm looking at the diagram here that you have with the parking lot. Your vehicle was in motion. You were reversing at the time.
It was clear that I was leaving that spot when she zipped around my car to try to get into the empty spot.
From your diagram, the defendant, Ms. O'Connor, was coming this way. She was coming and pulled around you.
She did.
So, Ms. O'Connor, how did this accident happen in your estimation?
Your Honor, I just want to state my case that she was not reversing when the other car had pulled out, like you see in the diagram. That car was already pulled out. She was not in motion. Her reverse lights were not on. So when I saw that spot open, I had actually been waiting about three minutes. I mean, I can't give you a direct estimate because I wasn't watching the clock. So I was waiting for her spot. I saw that her lights were on, but there was no reverse lights. It was just the red lights on the tail lights. So I was like, oh, she's about to pull out.
You're
So I'm
actually waiting for Ms. McDougal's spot.
I am. So I was waiting for her. I have cars lined up behind me because it's a small grocery store parking lot. So I'm waiting for her to pull out. I have cars behind me that are honking at me. So I honk at her. Hey, are you coming? She's not moving. And thankfully this other car pulls out. So I'm like, great, that's
the
my
car
spot.
next to her.
Yes.
Which would be to her right.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right.
Correct. So I am in a bit of a rush.
So you're admitting you were rushing?
I am, Your Honor. I am. Okay. But when I saw that other car pull out, I pulled in, but I did not do it aggressively, and her reverse lights were not on.
She was very impatient. She was waiting for me.
And you saw her?
And I saw her waiting.
And did you see the
she
car to your
honked.
right pull out before you did?
I did.
Did the car that pulled out pull completely out of the parking space and proceed as the diagram shows before she turned into the space?
I wasn't really paying attention to the car that was pulling out.
So you didn't see that car pull off?
I saw it pull out, but it wasn't 3 minutes. It was probably a minute. And then she got very aggressive with me when she got out of the car. And she ended the whole thing saying I should hurry up and die. She was talking about
Your Honor.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Yes, she did.
All because she took a while to pull out of a parking space?
Your Honor, I am a professional. I know that if I were to say something like that I could lose my job.
I heard it clearly. And while she was berating me, demanding my insurance information, she was talking about my age and how old people shouldn't drive.
Coming up,
What were you saying exactly?
I can't recall everything that I said.
You can't recall.
No,
So
Your
then
Honor.
again, you may have said hurry up and die then if you can't recall.
That's true, Your Honor.
and later,
You wrote back, I don't work there anymore. I don't know why you didn't text me before, but I'm not paying for that. You need to get someone else who you work with to pay that.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with the case of Grace McDougal, who brought Emily O'Connor to court over a fender bender.
Why is Ms. McDougal testifying that you, a younger woman, were berating an older woman? Were you berating her?
Your Honor, I would not call it berating, but I was very angry. I was in a rush. I needed
But you
to
weren't
run
in a rush because you had time to stand and argue and berate. What were you saying exactly?
I can't recall everything that I said.
You can't recall.
No,
So
Your
then
Honor.
again, you may have said hurry up and die then if you can't recall.
That's true, Your Honor.
So she does not confirm or deny that she was saying some extremely hostile, offensive things to you at that time. Did you all call the police?
No, it was a fender bender. And so I was nervous that she was getting so aggressive with me. So I gave her my insurance information. I was a little surprised by the whole thing. So I gave her my insurance information. All I wanted to do was get out of there very quickly. So I did. And the damage to my car was $500. I took it to the body shop. I'm on a fixed income, and it was clearly her fault. So that's why
And
I'm
so,
suing
Ms.
for the
O'Connor, you
$500.
say
my
that it is-
fault.
You don't think it's clearly your fault?
Not me pulling into a parking spot and her backing into me. That's not my fault.
Because it's your assertion that since she never came out, the second car came out before her, so you were just pulling into the second car spot, and as you begin to turn in, she backed up into you.
Correct.
You're saying this accident is her fault and she owes you $650.
Correct.
And so, Ms. McDougal, I have to ask you again, were you or were you not in motion when the car hit? Because this diagram that you presented to me, this to me, shows that you had backed up out of the space.
I was already backing out, and she got so impatient that she tried to go around me as I was backing out and hit my car.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Did you see her reversing before you made your move to get in the space? Did you see her reverse?
I did not, Your Honor.
The issue in this case was Ms. O'Connor negligent, or Ms. McDougal, were you negligent, or perhaps both of you were, in some respects, acting and operating a vehicle in a negligent way. So this is what the court has to look at. The way the evidence is presented, it does show definitively Ms. McDougal in reverse. That's why I asked Ms. O'Connor clearly in open court, could you see whether or not she had reversed yet? When your answer was no, that says to me you weren't paying attention, because the car is clearly almost out of the space. But then if you then tried to pull around, you could hit her car. The problem I'm having with your testimony, plaintiff, Ms. McDougal, is that you say to me that you really don't know what the car next to you was doing. When you're driving and operating a motor vehicle out in a busy parking lot, you do have to be mindful of what the cars to the left, to the right, and behind you are doing. I feel like both of you were negligent in this instance in some respect. There's a lot going on here, and it's quite complex. A little situation has a lot of layers. The issue as well is there is a such thing as contributory negligence, where each person can be partly negligent in a situation, which I think you both are. However, in your state of Virginia, it's what is called a pure contributory negligent state. That means if this court decides and finds that the complainant, which means the plaintiff here in the current petition for $500, is responsible in any way for their injuries, they may not receive compensation, right? I do believe that you were negligent for not knowing what the car next to you was doing and also not paying attention what was going on with Ms. McDougal. But Ms. O'Connor is now countersuing you for $650, however, we're still in the same state. So if Ms. O'Connor was in any way negligent, she's not entitled to collect either. And you admitted into open court, and I wrote it down, so you were rushing. Yes, I was rushing. It's the finding of this court that both parties, the plaintiff and the defendant, were negligent, and therefore neither one of you can collect. Your case is dismissed, plaintiff, and your case is dismissed, defendant. Court is adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Lake has ruled. Both cases are dismissed.
Any final thoughts with each other?
I just hope she's more patient the next time and not so rude.
All right, gather your things. Follow me this way, please.
Coming up,
I took our boss, sat him down. I said, "Hey, boss, I think we both know this. I'm overqualified for this position. I've been working really hard here, and honestly, I kind of feel like I'm owed it." I learned that not only was he hiring someone entirely new for this position, it was a friend, a close friend of his outside of work.
you're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. Colin Chen claims his former co-worker agreed to pay half for a cover band for their boss's birthday party, but stiffed him. Henry Lendon says he resigned after a disagreement with the boss and owes nothing.
This is the case of Chen versus Linden. Mr. Chen, you are suing Mr. Linden for $650. You say your former co-worker owes you half the cost for hiring a cover band for your boss's birthday. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And Mr. Linden, you say you didn't work there anymore and you didn't even go to the party.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll start with you, Mr. Chen, since you're bringing the suit. What happened? You and Mr. Linden worked together at what kind of company?
Yes, ma'am. Henry and I worked together for 3 years at a small tech company in San Francisco. Henry and I both agree that our boss has done a lot for us. Every year that the company's been in the green, he's given us all big bonuses. So we thought that for last year, for his birthday, it would be a good idea to throw him a birthday party. But Henry's idea was that we hired a cover band because our boss, Jeremy, loves classic rock bands.
Okay.
And I agreed. So I took the initiative, researched, found the band, paid the half, the total cost was $1,300. They wanted half of it as a deposit to book the band, which I did. And I have the receipt here if you need to see it.
I'd like to see it, please.
Of course.
And so when you say Mr. Linden suggested, was
Yes.
it an idea or was it an agreement that you guys were going to do this together and share expenses?
He came up with the idea, and then I told him that the expenses would be split because the band would be expecting the second half after their performance.
So you've submitted text messages to the court that say, okay, I found the perfect band. This is you.
Yes, ma'am.
A classic rock cover band. I emailed them and they told me they would be available on June the 12th.
Yes, ma'am.
It's going to cost $1,300, which is in the budget as we discussed. I'll do 50% deposit and you can pay when they come for the show. Mr. Linden says, sounds good.
Yes.
Thank you for finding them. Jeremy's gonna love this. Hey, dude, I didn't know you weren't coming to Jeremy's party. I paid the band the other half of the money last night. Send me the $650 when you can. I don't know what's going on, but we went into this together and you need to pay your half. You wrote back, I don't work there anymore. I don't know why you didn't text me before, but I'm not paying for that. You need to get someone else who you work with to pay that.
Coming up,
He says that everything was implied, but you can't imply something if you've never reached out to me. I can't imply something, I'm not psychic.
you're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with a dispute between Colin Chen and Henry Lendon over a cover band birthday bill.
So, Mr. Linden, when did you decide not to work there, or did you get fired? What happened?
I did not get fired, Your Honor.
Okay.
I get to work, and I hear that there's going to be an opening for a promotion. I took our boss, Jeremy, aside, sat him down. I said, hey, boss, I think we both know this. I'm overqualified for this position. I've been working really hard here, and honestly, I kind of feel like I'm owed it based on the time I've been here. Jeremy, our boss, literally said, yes, I agree. This promotion, it makes sense for it to be yours, okay? I learned that not only was he hiring someone entirely new for this position, B, it was a close friend of his outside of work, all right? So a couple days later, he comes into work. Jeremy singles me out and says, you're overqualified, you've been here for a long time, you know how much I appreciate you here. I think you should be the guy to train this new team member and get him up to snuff. So for all the reasons I was qualified for this promotion, I'm now gonna be the minion who coaches the new guy who got the promotion. And I emailed that last Friday, my 2 weeks, that I'm quitting. So when Colin texted me about the band, it didn't even cross my mind.
Did you ever say, hey, Colin, I quit now?
Nope.
I don't want any part of that birthday celebration. I'm not coming, and I definitely don't want to get him a band.
It was on the back of my mind. I did not think about this dude's birthday party who
Your
just
Honor, he
snaked me
says-
like that.
He says that everything was implied, but you can't imply something if you've never reached out to me. I can't imply something, I'm not psychic.
Judge Lake's verdict when We the People returns. You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake.
All right, so you went to that party just assuming he's going to show and at some point give you the other $650.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Well, what I see here in terms of the text message exchange, it seems to be clear that there was a bargain for exchange. There was consideration paid in the sense that you paid $650 to this band. You said, hey, let's do this. You say, sounds good. You say, this is the deal. I'm going to do this, and you do this. You say, sounds good. And so in reliance on that, he goes ahead and puts the $650 down. Through text messages, you made a deal with Mr. Chen. Hindsight is 2020. In your case, it is $650. Because
Thank you, Your
that's
Honor.
what you owe Mr. Chen. Judgment for the plaintiff, court is adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Lake has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $650.
Any final thoughts with each other?
No, I think justice was served today. I didn't want to do this, but you left no other choice.
Dude, it's $650. Get 9 other people to pay $65 that still work there that like the boss.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.